Electoral reforms in Uganda, electoral law reforms in Uganda, I don't think it makes any sense to reform laws that are going to be changed the following day by Yoweri Museveni. You can't reform any law in Uganda during the time of this scourge of the black apartheid dictatorial regime of Yoweri Museveni and his NRM. I don't believe that Yoweri Museveni brings such reforms to benefit Ugandans or to benefit the opposition. We will be cheating our minds, we'll be economizing our thinking to believe that Yoweri Museveni has come up with the electoral reforms to benefit those who are going to participate in elections against him or against his members. That's a total lie, absolutely nonsensical. Why do you go for electoral reforms? To reform what? To reform the movement that can continue or it can start again. Do you have even a sense to understand that Yoweri Museveni can accept the term limit now? And tomorrow he says the law did not exist, now is starting 2021 and the next one will be 2026. His treachery. There are these animals that where you put the trap that has killed their members is where they all go and die. It's the politicians in Uganda. Museveni sets a trap, you go into the same trap. Can we think beyond the minds of the rats? Because rats can die on the same trap with one seed of groundnuts. You put one seed like this on the same trap, they will all come, they will all come, they will all come. They see the dead one. You remove the dead one, they all come and die on the same trap. Are politicians falling on the same trap like rats? Whenever Yoweri Museveni sets a trap, you fall in, just on small money, because you need money in parliament. So you continue to fall in the traps. Why do you go for reforms? How are you going to convince people that the reforms are now going to make it clear for you to oust Yoweri Museveni out of power? Are we only reforming? Do we have a sense of removing this dictatorial regime and all its existence out of power? Or just playing games? Is it not true that Yoweri Museveni has captured the members of NRM and the members of the opposition too? To me, I think now it's true that you're all captured. You cannot use your senses properly. How do you go for reforms with Yoweri Museveni? 12th of December 2018 last year, Yoweri Museveni mentioned that I will leave power after finishing all the problems of Africa. You can discuss other things, but not Yoweri Museveni leaving power. He mentioned it, that he will leave power after finishing all the problems of the continent. To me, I see that he has failed even finished the problems of Uganda, one country, but he talks about leaving power after finishing the problems of the 54 countries in Africa. When you hear this, he added that he will leave power after solving all the problems that he came to do in Uganda. Now you jump up and down on your chair, okay, we are coming with the electoral reforms. Museveni has brought electoral reforms through his Attorney General, so this one is now a through pass. Where in this world can a dictator give a chance that the opposition will have to take him out of power? Are we thinking less than the way we are created as human beings with the minds of human beings? Are you all bribed if not bribed? Have you lost ideas? Is there any election that will remove the dictator out of power? Why do you talk about elections, electoral reforms, electoral law reforms? Was it the law that hindered Kizza Besigye to become president? If you look at it well, the laws were there, the Electoral Commission was there, in the hands of Yoweri Museveni. Even if you participate to choose the members of the Electoral Commission, still you will have them, either by bribe, money, cash, or anything, but you will have them at hand. Because Yoweri Museveni has captured all functional institutions in Uganda. How dare you now say that when you participate, when you reform the electoral laws, then everything will be fine? Where? This cockroach is very treacherous, has got tricks and traps. He has covered himself under the blanket of democratic processes and democracy. Yet is a military junta. The highest level of dictatorship is in Uganda. Museveni is a dictator purely. How dare you think that he's going to bring a law or to reform the law for you? He brought the treachery of constitution, 1995 constitution. After 5 years, NRM became illegal. I mean, the movement became illegal. When they talked about it, the parliament called Ayume. Ayume said, yeah, it's overdue. He killed it. 2003, he changed the term limits of the constitution himself made to pave his way for life presidency. You fought, he didn't mind. It is through parliament. And you're always there. The DP members, FDC members, and all independent members and NRM members, you removed the term limit because you were there in parliament. And in any democratic process, it's the parliament that you are that removed the term limit. To remove the age limit, 2017, you were there in December 2017. You were there in parliament. The members of these cockroaches of NRM overwhelmed, and you also marked no and yes. As long as you mark anything in any democratic process and the big numbers take it over, you also agreed. You removed the age limit. All of you, DP members, FDC members, independent members who are on the opposition, and the NRM together. You removed the term limit. You removed the age limit. What do you expect from this parliament? What do you expect from the reforms that are through the same parliament? Can Museveni bring anything in parliament that is going to blow him out? Why don't you use your senses properly? You think when you jumped up and down fighting physically with in the parliament on the changing of the age limit, you scored. What did you score? You're part of it. If you didn't want to be part of this, immediately you come, you oppose, they reach time to voting, you get out. You never got out. You're part of all the problems of Uganda. It's not only NRM members. Not only NRM members are to blame for the changing of the age limit. You are part of it. This jumping up and down that you're fighting to show that Uganda is not actually uncivilized society. It was just a shame. The only diplomatic way that honorable members of parliament should have done is to oppose the bill, to oppose the motion. If you see that they are overwhelming, you get out. You don't wait for marking no or yes. You get out. You didn't get out. And you're part of the parliament that removed the age limit. Now you're jumping up for electoral reforms. Yoweri Museveni is bringing a blanket again to cover him as a democratic leader in Uganda. To bluff the world, to lie to the international community that the laws were reformed and have won. There is nobody who is going to complain, because you are going to reform, and whatever you accept in the reformation of the electoral laws is what is going to completely blow you out. It's a big blow to you, and it's a benefit to Yoweri Museveni. Yes, the Shadow Attorney General of the People's Government came with a very good list of good provisions that would have been put in the electoral laws. But what for at this matter of time? You cannot give Museveni any advice. You bring these provisions to advise Yoweri Museveni that this is what we want. He will accept, even if he accepted the whole list 100%. Or he has another way of dealing with it. He cannot bring something that is going to blow him out, but to blow you out. And you continue to jump. Where is the mind of an opposition member of parliament? Where is the mind of your guys? Which type of brain do you use to fight Yoweri Museveni? When you continue to participate in the electoral law reforms, it's going to be a very big blow to you, opposition members. Because Yoweri Museveni will state it properly that will reform the law the way they want. And have won. Because even if you get 100%, he will win you. He will be declared president. Why do you waste time? Why do you waste your resources? Why do you waste your mind with Yoweri Museveni? Making him to appear to the international world that is elected president, is a democratically elected president. All the laws that you participate in are through democratic processes in parliament. Why don't you boycott all these stupid things that Yoweri Museveni comes with? I once cherished when I had the People's Government. It was a very good program to have the People's Government led by Colonel Kizza Besigye, because he won the elections and Museveni took it his way. And under this People's Government, there was the word defiance. There was the word year of action, 2019. But is this defiance when you come up with a list of provisions that you want the government of Yoweri Museveni through its parliament to rectify? When you get the list of provisions you take to parliament, is that defiance? And can it only even, can it help? What does it help? Is this any action? If it's a year of action, let us get in action, a real defiance. How can you expect to reform the laws when the judicial system is captured? The whole judicial. You run to court, you waste time. Actually, do you want to tell me that Colonel Kizza Besigye was denied to be president because of the electoral laws? No. The electoral laws did not hinder people to give Colonel Kizza Besigye the votes. People gave Colonel Kizza Besigye the votes to win elections, and he won. But what was declared is Yoweri Museveni. It's not the law. It's Yoweri Museveni himself and his courts, his magistrates, his judges. You will never pass. Even if you bring 100 laws, even if you bring a million reforms, it's a wastage of time. My advice, all these provisions that you bring to parliament during this time of the dictator, don't waste time. We'll do these reforms by the transitional government that we're going to bring very soon. Let us just get together on one plan. We put a very good plan on table that removes Yoweri Museveni, and we have been really working hard to see that we fulfill all our assignments, to see the international community. Your duty was to mobilize the people on the ground in Uganda on one theme. Yoweri Museveni must go now, because we need the people's uprising. It's the democracy we need, because democracy is about numbers of the people. Not in parliament, not in elections, but to bring all together the people of Uganda who feel change is necessary. Tell them we are going to announce a day of a massive demonstration. But this demonstration is going to be backed by external forces from the international community to remove the dictator, the black apartheid regime in Uganda, of Yoweri Museveni and his NRM's extremist terrorist group. Not electoral reforms. It is not electoral laws that hindered Kano Kizza Besigye to become president. He won elections in 2001. The laws were there. The Electoral Commission was there. He was denied. Not because of the laws, because of one man's hand, Yoweri Museveni, and his court, High Court, and his High Court judges. Remove these ones. Remove Yoweri Museveni and these judges. Remove NRM. Not to reform the laws. Now European Union is coming in quickly because we've talked about electoral reforms. But so many countries in the European Union are allies to Yoweri Museveni, and they have many interests in Yoweri Museveni than that they have in Uganda. And you think now they are coming to help you. They are not coming to help Uganda. You cannot discuss democracy for 34 years with one man. And actually in iPod, inter-party dialogue, where he mentioned that he will leave power after finishing all the problems of Africa. There were two organizations, democratic organizations from Netherlands. They sponsored this dialogue. They did not even take this serious, that a man to say that he will leave power after finishing the problems of the whole continent is a serious statement. That means that he's completely a life president. They're coming now on electoral reforms. Which electoral reforms? We don't need to discuss democracy with Yoweri Museveni. We don't want to discuss peace with Yoweri Museveni. We don't want to discuss anything with Yoweri Museveni. We don't want to discuss any law when Yoweri Museveni is still in power. We don't want to see NRM. We don't want to see Yoweri Museveni in any electoral process, in any election. Their time has come to an end now. We have to pursue our strategies to remove them, not to make electoral reforms that will prove to the entire world that this man has reformed the laws and now still the people have voted him in. Because you can't get, excuse me, there is no way you're going to remove Yoweri Museveni by a ballot paper. However many laws that you reform, I call upon all Ugandans. It's the high time to stand up on one theme, Kagwamulero. When we will say that Kagwamulero, Ororo Natujakubak Street, we will be on the streets. And we say, we need change, Yoweri Museveni must go. Not these things of laws. He has made laws and changed them. He has made laws and breached them. He has made all the dictatorial list laws and actually to torture, to oppress, to persecute mankind in Uganda. Which laws can you reform that are going to pave way to rescue Uganda? Apart from standing up and we say Yoweri Museveni must go by force, not through elections. Because when you talk about electoral reforms, you are all focused on 2021 elections, which is false. What are you going to get out of there? Jumping up and down and play games. I think many people now in Uganda are going to believe that the opposition, all of you, are playing games with Yoweri Museveni. If you continue thinking and telling people that you're going to reform this and that so that you can fight Yoweri Museveni, we are going to believe that you're part of Yoweri Museveni. We will reform the laws during the transition of government. We will reform the constitution during the transition of government. We're not going to allow NRM and Yoweri Museveni. Actually, we declare that we shall never go for elections with Yoweri Museveni and his NRM. We're going to push him out of power by force. And this is what I need every Ugandan to know and every Ugandan to follow. It's the only rescue for our country, not electoral reforms. To reform what? You failed many things in parliament, and you come jumping in the same parliament. Some of you have mentioned that parliament does not work. You failed OTT, you failed age limit, you failed everything. Now, if the law, the High Court ordered that electoral reforms will be there before 730 days to even register people for elections, how many days left? Why do they bring it now? They have tried many things. They wanted to bring one candidate, they wanted to bring parliamentary elections, and they see that all these things are not coming up to help them. Now they come with what will help them to bluff the world. We reformed the laws, and the opposition was participated properly. The opposition participated in reforming the laws, and we did what they want. Now, what will you claim when Museveni continues to impose himself as an elected president in 2021? What are you going to do? After accepting everything that he does, you go into his traps all along. Why don't you think properly? Ugandans must think properly. The country is under captivity. The country is going through serious torture. Many people are in safe houses, military incarcerations. Many people are charged, opposition politicians are charged with the treason. They are charged of treason. It is treasonous in Uganda to oppose Yoweri Museveni. Now, how can you go for reforms with the same person? We are saying Yoweri Museveni and his NRM must get out. We don't need them anymore. This is a black-to-black apartheid regime, dominated by the Himas and the Tutsis dissidents of Rwanda. The Tutsis are Rwandese descent, are the one managing our country in all departments, revenue authority, all the government departments, civil aviation, everywhere, including in the Electoral Commission. Uganda Airlines. They have captured the country. We have always told you that this is a black-to-black apartheid regime. A small group of black people, dominated by Himas and Tutsis, have come against the 42 million Ugandans, which is a black-to-black apartheid. When you tell people that you're going to fight these people with a soft touch, we doubt your mind. Certainly we doubt your mind. What I want to call upon you, I want to call upon you to gather around the idea of removing Yoweri Museveni by force, not these other soft touches. We are going to remove Yoweri Museveni by force. That will be sparked by people's uprising and massive demonstration, and will be backed by the international external forces. That's all. Whatever Yoweri Museveni brings is to himself and to benefit himself. We cannot continue with this. Thank you very much.